My name is PaulKeidel, and I am presenting the results from my master's capstone project. And it had to do with the Sonoyta Elgin Fire District. They needed a new set of map series and a drive time analysis. So the objectives of this project, like I said, the map series and the drive times. The fire district approached the university this past summer. The fire district is in a small community and they don't have a budget. And they had a set of maps produced over 10 years ago that they carry around in all their emergency vehicles. Because as you'll see, there's reasons why they don't get good cell service, so they still rely on paper maps. So the setting that we're talking about here, the fire district is in Santa Cruz County. Santa Cruz is at the southern border of Arizona with Mexico, right up against the infamous 7-wire fence that forms the border. So the geographic setting for the county, Santa Cruz, on this map, what you can see is large portions of the county are covered by national forests, wilderness areas, and conservation areas. In the areas where there aren't those regions is where the population is concentrated. And you'll see that on the next maps here. So the Sonoyta Elgin Fire District lies in the northeast portion of the county. And in addition to Sonoyta Elgin, there's also 5 other fire districts in the county. And again, those districts are concentrated along where the population resides. But Sonoyta Elgin is kind of way out in the boonies on its own. It's the highway in the western half of the county is more of an interstate, and the highways in the eastern half are more state highways, 2-lane roads. So Sonoyta Elgin, it's not quite as big as Tubac, but almost there. It's maybe 75%. So in addition to the fire district, Sonoyta Elgin has responsibility for this fire response area. And this black and red outlined region, you can see it extends into Pima County and it borders up against Cochise County. So this is a region where they will respond to fires with the help from National Forest, wilderness firefighters as well. So if Sonoyta Elgin is available, they'll attend to the fires in that region as well. So even bigger than that, Sonoyta Elgin has an agreement in place with the state of Arizona to provide ambulance service in the blue outlined area. That's referred to as a certificate of necessity. And those are arranged through the Arizona Department of Health Services. So what I wanted to point out here was that Sonoyta Elgin, the one fire station, those personnel are responsible for covering up to about half of the county with either fire or ambulance service. So the first thing I wanted to look at was a new map series. And I'll talk briefly about how that process is conducted. It's not a common use feature in ArcGIS Pro. Well, not common that I know of, because everybody has cell phones and everybody can bring up maps. But if you're familiar with the traditional Delorme maps or street maps, even triptychs that AAA used to put out, that's what the map series can do. So the workflow is you get the data. What does the fire department want? And build a map the way they want it. And I've been out to the department 2 times now to talk to them and get details, what they like, what they don't like. And then the grid is designed. That's the page grid. You know, how many pages do you want, and what scale do you want? And I've got a chart on that. And then the layout is designed for the sheets that are carried in the truck, the map book, 3-ring binder, and then the map series is created from that layout. So the first step was gathering the data. Many sources here. You can see in the middle, Santa Cruz County GIS office provided a lot of the details, a lot of updated information, structures. The fire department wants to know about structures. They want to know about addresses. They want to know about sources of water. That's not something I have on this list, but it's information they're collecting for me. They're where are the water tanks? Where are the swimming pools? Because there's no fire hydrants. I think there's less than a dozen fire hydrants across their 600 square miles of service area. So they'll tap into swimming pools, stock tanks, and other sources of water storage. Once the data is gathered, then the map is designed and the grid is placed. So what I am showing here is on the left side is the index map that I created for the layout. And then on top of the index map, then I placed 2 different grids. The fire department wanted to look at 1 to 12,000 scale printing and 1 to 6,000. I'll do the math real quick. So if 1 inch is 12,000 inches, that works out to 1 inch on the paper is 1,000 feet on the ground. And then the rightmost map would be 1 inch on paper is 500 feet on the ground. And you'll see what that looks like further on in the presentation. So there's a tool in ArcPro, a couple tools where it'll create the grids. The user tells the tool, what are you gridding up? Are you gridding up just certain neighborhoods, or which district, the fire district, the fire response area? In this case, they wanted the grid across the entire ambulance service region. And so you can see also going from 1 to 12,000 to 1 to 6,000, the amount of pages in the final document ultimately goes up by a factor of 4. It's a lot. And so once the map is designed and the grid is decided upon, then the layout is designed. And here again, I'm working with the fire department, and this would be an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. I've got the center line they would cut. They would probably put it into clear sheet holders, but they're not sure at this point because the whole process of printing all this out still hasn't been looked at yet. That's further down the road. But what I wanted to point out here is that, so there's the index map on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is the 1 to 6,000 scale. So that's the 1 inch equals 500 feet. So even at that scale, right now, this is a test case. They wanted to see what this scale looked like. There's building addresses are called out on the map. The light gray numbers, section 24, section 19, those are the public land survey system information. The fire department let me know that the search and rescue personnel, say the older generation of folks who are in that business, they are more familiar with township and range information across the state, as opposed to latitude, longitude. Whereas the younger folks with the fire department are more familiar with latitude, longitude, because they can get that from cell phones real quick. So actually the end product is going to have both. It's going to have land survey system and latitude, longitude. And then once this layout is designed, then it's not quite one button, but it's almost one button. And then ArcPro goes across that whole grid and creates however many pages are in that grid and numbers them. There's dynamic text features that appear on the map. You can put the edge remarks of, on the left-hand side, which page is the next one over, the next one north, the next one south. So it's a very, very powerful tool. You can make very modern looking map books with this tool. So the map series, that was complete. In parallel with that, I was looking at drive time analyses. So for drive time analyses, I used open source GIS software. I used QGIS. I figured, I can do some work in parallel here. While I'm running map series on one side, I can run QGIS drive time analyses on the other. So the fire department wanted to know, how long does it take to respond to an incident if they're leaving the station? So there's the station right in the middle of the page. And the yellow represents about 20 minutes out, the orange 40, and the red about 60 minutes out. So the yellow, or I should say the orange down in the southwest, is just reaching the edges of the fire district itself. So it's taking about 40 minutes to cover the district and about 60 minutes to cover the ambulance service area. So then, once a truck or an ambulance is out there, whether it's out in the boonies or maybe it's in town, what's the hospital setting? So here's a quick shot of the closest hospitals to Sonoyta Elgin. Off to the south is Holy Cross in Nogales. Then there's Canyon Vista in Sierra Vista. And then if they're headed to Tucson, the closest hospital is Keno Hospital. It's Banner University there right off the freeway. The other hospitals are, another Banner, TMC, St. Joe's, Northwest, Veterans, El Rio, and St. Mary's. So let's look at the three closest. So if a vehicle is in the ambulance response area, how long does it take to get to a hospital? And already the dark blue in the blue region is saying that this is going to take about an hour. They're about an hour out. If they're at the boundaries of the blue region, then they're about 40 minutes out. And they did tell me stories about having to call helicopters when they're way out on the edges of their service area and they finally get there. Then if they call a helicopter, that's going to be about a 30-minute flight at the minimum from, say, Tucson Medical Center or from Keno Hospital. So in conclusion, for my project, a new map series is in process and being produced for the fire department. They were aware this process could take, more than just the time I had for this project. I'll continue to help them and work with, also working with the county GIS office. So they're going to get a paper document, and there will also be a PDF file that they can carry on their tablets and phones. Drive time estimates were computed. The fire district personnel had a feeling for how long it takes, but now they can really see, wow, it's way out there. And so, they were thinking about a second station, but that's way in the future. Again, they're a small community and they just want to know how to serve their community better. And Santa Cruz County GIS office would like to leverage this work to benefit the remaining fire districts in the county. Now, future ideas would be different drive time costs, different types of emergency vehicles, include the Forest Service roads, you know, if you had a second station, where would you put it? Or is the present station in the best place? So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.